So I'm going to continue on this League of Legends data set, and I'm not going to do an R shiny because it's not that. I just want to view this data. Let's visualize this data. So let me go ahead and knit it into create an HTML file, right? Okay, it pops up. Okay, so remember that little pop-up that showed up. So remember in the previous video, this is like a sequence of videos regarding this League of Legends data set. What we did was we created a long form version of the League of Legends data set. So I'll get so if you don't remember that, you can watch a video, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of a review in a moment. So I'm going to read in my data. Which is fine. And I'm gonna view my data. So remember when I said, oh, look at that little box that popped up? I viewed that's me viewing my data. So what I'm gonna do is I actually go back to R and show you all how to view your data within R. So it's not showing up. And let me just run it in here real fast. Boom. And then do it again. Boom. View it. Okay, so here's my data frame. Okay. And so it's really important that you take time to sometimes view your data. View your data because you might see some anomalies that might be an issue. All right, so it's nice to do that. So always view your data. So let's go ahead and continue with that. Okay, boom. So here, what I'm gonna do is I wanted to do some regression today. I just jump into it, do some logistic regression, but I was running into some time issues. So I went ahead and just said, let's just make this about visualizing the data. So real quick, there is a function, or at least a package I should have mentioned earlier, and it's called core plot. It allows us to actually visualize quantitative variables all in once. It's really cool. I love this package, and you'll see why I love it in a moment. So here we're going to use this correlation plot technique. So one of the things that I do here is I was going to do some regression, logistic regression, but it's fine. But what I need to do with that data frame is to remove all non-quantitative variables. At the end of the day, what I mean is that all I want is quantitative variables. And once I do that, I can find the correlation of all the quantitative variables and then use this core plot function to start to visualize the correlation between all my quantitative variables. This is interesting. So I'm not going to go over a breakdown real fast, but we can actually just take a quick analysis, or at least a quick gander at some of these variables. So again, I won't lie, I'm not that familiar with this game, but let's actually take average level. Okay, let's say average level. Okay. And one obvious thing is the diagonal is going to be, perfectly one correlation, right? Average level, right? However, and if you're familiar with, the correlation matrix that, off diagonals is a mirror of what's happening here. So all you have to do is just look at one of the diagonals. And let's say we look at average level, that's like ability level of the person. And you look at, let's say, this variable here, and that correlates to total gold. So the more an individual has an ability, okay, in terms of average level, in terms of skill, maybe, the more gold that they would potentially get, right? And so I didn't make this apparent, but the scale here allows you to actually delineate between a positive association and a negative association. So the more blue it is, the more positive associated these two variables are. The more red it is, the more negatively associated these variables are. Okay, so that's it for today. I hopefully spend more time, be able to, create a video on logistic regression, some machine learning algorithms, and hopefully tie it back to an R shiny. But I'm going down this League of Legends rabbit hole, and I'm excited to see what happens. Stay tuned.